love us, the rebels don't necessarily love us, but they'll make peace with us for now if we help them. So I think that if we're able to intervene and kind of have some influence there, then we might be able to benefit somewhat from that. But I do agree that he does have his own right to do what he wishes in his own country, but I would also support that if we're able to intervene for our own profit or gain, then we should take the time to do so.
Oh,
you don't need one.
I don't need the microphone either. This question is for John. You mentioned that it's justifiable to fight if you're defending yourself. And a lot of times, especially recently, as we've intervened in foreign affairs, it's been used or been talked about that we're doing that to defend ourselves from, we'd rather stop Iraq from nuking us, and so we're going to intervene now, but it's actually a defensive action. How would you answer that, and is that ever a case for preemptive strikes? Can that actually be defensive, and where do you draw that line?
Where's the other mic?
Yeah.
Oh. No.
Can I also say first?
Yeah, what's up?
It's a pretty rough question. I mean, when we were attacked on September 11th, there were that is an attack. We were attacked. Whether we took enough time to find out who attacked us or anything like that, I'm not going to go there. But we were attacked. We had reason to believe that it was these people, so we went after them. I believe that that's okay to do. That's fine. Now, we find out that these people may or may not have weapons of mass destruction. Is the best thing to do, because if I think you have a weapon of mass destruction, should I televise and then shortly after, televise that I'm going to come and try and kill you, and then shortly after come and try and kill you? If you have something that could kill me, am I going to tell you I'm going to come and hurt you and then try and do so?
Hey, by the way, I'm
It
just a
doesn't
lot
seem
of
like a
gun
good
running
idea to me that because you have the capability of causing me more harm, I'm going to come and try and attack. It seems like there are more diplomatic ways to deal with that. Again, it seems like a bad idea. Awakening, they have this weapon that they haven't chose to use yet. They don't hate us that much yet. Luckily not yet. So let's try and make them hate us even more.
Okay. Everybody supports Ron Paul, don't they?
Does that answer your question?
What are you doing today? Yeah. Can I ask a follow-up question?
No.
No. Oh my
no.
God.
No.
Out of order.
No rebuttals. Go ahead.
Just kind of following up then. So you talked about if you're uncertain, I think you answered the first part of the question really well, as to whether or not if someone attacks you, it's okay to retaliate. Obviously, they're basically inviting it. However, what if you are for certain that something bad is going to happen, or you're 90% sure that so-and-so hates us this much, and they definitely will have capability to carry that out. They've already declared that they hate us. Do you actually have to wait? Would you say that the government actually has to wait until they make the first aggressive move? Or should you cut it off at the pass to save yourself, to save your citizens, and to protect your borders?
I would say that it being 90% sure is not good enough. I'm 90% sure that 90% sure that maybe someday this could possibly happen. It's a lot of ifs, hopefullys, probablys, and then there's that 10% that even that's totally wrong. And who's to say, like, I could say I'm 90% sure that is going to happen, but is everybody else 90% sure? The weatherman says there's a 50% chance of rain, and I would guarantee you it's going to rain. 50% is not the same 50% that I'm used to as a mathematician. So they're 50% sure, and my 50% sure aren't the same. And they're the ones that are educated. They're the ones with all the information. So it just seems not... it doesn't seem like a good idea. So if we are going to, if we have this money to spend on war, I would suggest, if we're going to spend that money, it'd be better spent on defense. Do I think that's what we should do? No. But would it be better spent on defense? Yes. I mean, in the Cold War, we built up our defense. Did we ever attack anybody in the Cold War? I don't recall many attacks, any big wars. We spent a lot of money building our defense, getting ready to retaliate, being so strong that nobody would even dream of attacking us because they know what would happen if they did. Seems like maybe the best offense is a good defense. If you are so powerful, if your defense is good, no one's going to even mess with you. Because yeah, they can take down 2 towers and knock out a side of our 5-sided building and blow up some food. Did you say 6?
No, I'm just joking, it's 5.
It's 5 sides. You need to come to my classes. All right.
I tricked the mathematician.
Yeah, I mean, they did that, and now your whole country's blown up. Sorry. It doesn't quite seem worth it to take down 2 towers that we can rebuild or make some really cool monuments.
Could we replace those?
Does that answer your question? Good. All right.
Sure. You have something? It's not theirs.
I was just going to say that 90% is definitely good enough for me. Just because of the, like I had said with the Pearl Harbor situation, we 100% knew Japan hated us. There was no doubt about that. And we were at least 90% sure that they wanted to attack us in some way. Whether they were going to or not isn't really the question there. But just knowing that that was a possible threat, we needed to take more necessary measures and take it more seriously.
France
also,
hates us. We go attack France.
With respect to the the situation in Iraq, the big debate after things had gotten going was that we were staying there and trying to set up too much. We had no exit strategy. And that goes back to we have to be responsible when we intervene. We can't go there trying to set up like this lasting empire if we know for certain that it's not going to work. Intervening in the other countries and trying to set things up for ourselves. I would say that for America, my standard of living and my comfort gets higher and higher the more influence and the greater spectrum that we have. If we're able to, in a sense, dominate the world, then my standard of living will generally tend to be better if I have more resources to use. I'm not saying the U.S. needs to go and just start dominating the world, as I'm sure some of you think. However, to an extent, if we believe that we have a God-given mandate for our set of laws and rules, why would we not want to encourage others to do the same?
Yeah. He does. Don't just ask. Just
Okay, so what percentage of the UN does the U.S. subsidize or pay for?
26%.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, that might be
Too much.
More than we should. I think someone could probably look it up. Here, this is on it.
looking.
He's looking
I
up.
believe it's 26. Go to Wikipedia. Here we go.
Oh, another thing on the UN, they really don't have any real authority. So that's one of those where we set it up, but it really doesn't have any true authority. So that's one reason I would say that. And no one else can act, certainly not France. So I would definitely say for America, we have the ability to do so. And if the UNers are reluctant to act, as they did with Iraq, they're saying don't go in, don't worry about the situation. We're saying no because we just got hit and we feel more threatened. How are you telling us not to intervene?
If we did it, I'm just wondering if the United Nations doesn't really have any power to intervene, why do we think we should? United Nations doesn't have power, so but we do. I mean, I guess we have the military. Is that what you meant? Like they don't have?
Yeah,
a
we have
strong
military. UN just has MD students.
Okay.
They just have a bunch of people in a room banging on the desk.
The answer is 22%.
22%.
22%.
With 192 countries. We don't like you. Sanction them.
Again, a lot, and more than we should.
All right, I'll use this here. My question is, turn me down. This is too much.
Okay, so I'm thinking here. How? And I think this goes to John, perhaps, but isn't non-interventionism isn't it in a sense outdated because of technological proliferation? You know, as the world grows smaller because of technology, we all grow closer together and we're more interconnected. Shouldn't our foreign policy develop as our technology, as our global culture develops?
Isolationism, if we were to try to go back to an isolationist society, if we were to try to do that, it would look different. That is true. This vast ocean between Europe and us is half a second on the cell phone now. You know, the world is shrinking. Everything is getting smaller.
2012, though.
The world is shrinking, but that doesn't really change the fact that we shouldn't be involved in their political system. My next door neighbors, I don't feel like just because they live literally next door to me, I should make sure that they make wise nutritional decisions, and if they don't, I should rip the potato chips out of their cabinet and give them tomatoes, just because they live right next door. I mean, it's just, I don't quite see the connection. There's still a separate political entity. It was never, for me, isolationism isn't about the distance. It's about a separate political system. We leave them alone and hope they leave us alone, but be ready for them if they don't. I understand that it will look different. It will be harder. But we can still be like Thomas Jefferson said. I don't see why jets and the internet, like being able to get here faster, a smaller world, changes the fact that we can't live by peace, commerce, and honest friendship with all nations, and entangling alliances with none. I don't see how the smaller globe changes any of that. If anything, it makes all of those things easier.
So would you consider geopolitical isolation progress?
Yes. But that's just me.
You said earlier you don't. You think the president, the Congress, and the cabinet have too much control over the isolationist policy. Who do you think should be making the decisions as far as going into invading other countries, creating wars, responding?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I said that our
something like that.
Congress, like basically the national government, the federal government, the top of it, Congress, House, all those things, Senate, House, all those. And the presidents all have too much power. And that is the way our country was set up. But they have a lot of power. Our country wasn't set up for the federal government to have anywhere near as much power as it currently does. It wasn't supposed to, and it didn't until basically the same time as we left our isolationist policy. I mean, it slowly came up, and the Supreme Court kind of took its own power right away. But it keeps worse and worse and worse. Now, we don't even care about state politics anymore because we know it's a joke. I mean, as bad as that sounds, it's true. Before, if you would have asked somebody who represented them in the government, if you ask my grandma who represents her in the government, she still gives you her local representative in the state Senate. She doesn't give you Obama. She doesn't even know who the president is anymore. I mean, but she still knows who her state representative is. And that's not what we have anymore. But, and when you brought up wars, the last time Congress voted to declare war on anyone was World War II. So it's just the president making those decisions since then, really. We haven't gone to a declared war since World War II. The Korean conflict, the Operation Desert Storm Part 2, maybe? I don't know. Whatever we call that, War on Terror. Whatever you want to call that. Not wars, conflicts, problems, interventions, not wars. It's just the president. Now that is not enough people making the decisions.
Alrighty. Alright.
I just want to say something real quick.
I'm from the frame of thought that government's only real job is to make sure I don't get killed from anyone outside. So if I feel they can best do that by putting down everyone else that could possibly attack me, then that's the situation I'm going to support. Everything else domestic, they can, leave me be. But so yeah, if they can best defend me outside, then I'm going to let them do that.
Okay, well, great discussion. Let's give our two our interventionists and non-interventionists a hand, John and Matt. Very impressive questions from the audience as well. So let's give all of ourselves a hand.
Start recording now.
Thanks, Justin.
Let me start recording now.
Yeah.